What's good, guys? My name is Pharrell James, or whichever one you prefer. But what can I say? Welcome to the channel. For some of you, it's been a long time waiting. Some of you guys during COVID, during the summer, told me, "Oh, Pharrell, make it." I was like, "Sound like a lot of effort." And then I came to the UK, met a few more people, a few new mates, and they said, "Make a YouTube channel." So I said, "Consensus, I gotta make a YouTube channel." So that's what we're doing today. And we're gonna break down the video so you can see what this channel is about. So obviously the first I should probably talk about the channel, obviously, as I said earlier. So this channel was mainly just, I guess, a collective ideas of a bunch of friends and mates I made here, both here in England and back in Canada. So what I'll be doing here mainly probably be a few reaction vids, and depending on whatever people submit me and they want me to react to. Probably doing also vlogs. So like I play for a football team here. That's gonna be the next chapter in the video. But like probably vlogs with them when we go out, or just football games, just put out a little highlight video, support the team, Probably also do medical vlogs. So whenever whenever I feel like there's been like a great day and I feel like, ooh, time to show off or just go like promote medicine here and there, probably show the viewers what it's like to be here, and also promote the university, just a little plug-in. And I think also probably helpful videos, probably like hear little tips, the study tips, or maybe little advantages to like being a med student, how can help, how learning another language could also probably help, so here and there. Again, just started the channel. So I'm gonna see probably collaborate with other medical YouTube channels, so you guys have more advice. Because I am just a year one student, but we'll get to that later. So yeah, collaborate with other medical student YouTubers, so that way you have multiple visions and multiple people to give you helpful tips. Idea? I think so. So I think to start off, we should talk about how I got where I am today. So I'd say volunteer options are definitely big key in. So I started off probably volunteering in a clinic, I think at the age of like 15. So I think 15 was about the age, 15, 14 I think. I started volunteering at my first clinic, and ever since then I've been volunteering until the age of like, well, I still volunteer at a different clinic, but volunteering at a clinic definitely prepares you for I'd say definitely prepares you for the med school world, because you get ready to practice depending on what volunteer options are presented to yourself, whether it be at a hospital or a clinic or an infirmary, wherever it be, or even the pharmaceutical place, depending on which one be. But volunteering definitely helps you a lot, because it helps you establish already like that first goal of like creating that patient worker relationship. So you already develop some skills of talking to patients and being comfortable around others. I definitely think it's definitely useful, especially if you feel like you're a timid person, very shy, because it's definitely, if you don't do the barrier now, you're always going to have to overcome it sooner or later, especially in med school. So volunteering definitely helped, because I was first a secretary for one of the clinics I had around Brampton area in Canada. So what happened was that I'd normally be a secretary where I just talk to patients to tell them, oh, you'll be sitting at this place, you'll be standing here, you'll be waiting this time a minute. I'll take phone calls saying, oh, yes, we're available at this time, we'll be ready here. So that first clinic definitely helped me establish first, because I wasn't, at that age, I wasn't a shy kidder. I was really extrovert, but that one just pushed me to like learn how to talk to people more and appreciate the different conversations I could have. And after, when I got to my second clinic around the age of what, I think 17. So 17 is when I got to the other clinic. That one is when I definitely started becoming more interactive with the patients, especially also in the waiting room, because sometimes my job there, I'd always just be a secretary. So I'd be filing documents, creating new profiles for the clinic, because the clinic was relatively new. So I'd create new profiles for them to join the clinic when they want to. I'd take phone calls again, just so they want to join, take a patient, see the doctor, I definitely think it helped, because I learned to communicate with different people, different ages. So I spoke with kids, how to communicate with them so they have a comfortable area to talk, because kids sometimes can be a little afraid of the doctor. I was. But it definitely helped as well, because also talking to also adults as well, because some of you can tell some adults also have a different sense. Some of them are more aggressive than others, I will admit, and others also have a kind air. So you do learn how to talk to different people, how to make sure, because you realize you have to keep professional air, because you will learn that in the medical world, I'm not that far in the medical world. I'm not saying I know already, but it's already preconditioned. Like, you're gonna have to deal with people of different stages, ages, or whatever. So like, you'll know you'll rather deal with someone young, kind, gentle, or someone old, angry, mean all the time. So it's rather airbeat. Sometimes it could be a mix of both. Who knows? But like, you have to learn to communicate with both parties, because or else it's gonna be a tough fruit. It's going to be a tough fruit. So yeah, volunteering for at those clinics definitely helped me learn how to develop patient worker relationships with them, how to communicate with them, how to make them feel comfortable, prepare for the see doctor, make them feel included. Like, kind of like make the clinic feel like a family, because I did work the clinic I worked at was a family physician place. So making them feel like the doctor is not someone too external, someone that they can rely on, who you can call or text or email to be at your need. Even during COVID, I was a little laid off due to obviously COVID restrictions and everything. But later on, when we started coming back around June this summer, it kind of helped a bit as well, because we showed them that the clinic is, despite the COVID situation, all we have to do is implement the regulations of wearing masks, keeping distance between you and a stranger that you don't know. And we show them that the clinic is still available to them despite times such as these. So we definitely prove to them that it's definitely beneficial to have someone as a family physician close to you, so you are, even in rough times, you are still someone you can closely talk to and interact with. So yeah, it was definitely beneficial doing going to do volunteer work. So if you find volunteer work, whether it be a hospital, clinic, or pharmaceutical place, or veterinary, whatever you want to become, especially in medical world, dentist world, find an opportunity to do, whether it be working or volunteering. Both of them are still very practical to help you. Just one, you just get paid, other one, you get hours. But either way, they both permit you to have experience that you might not gain only simply from watching. Because watching is one thing and living is another. So you have to live the experience to gain experience. Ooh. I didn't mean to do that. That's not even written down nowhere. But yeah. What did I say? Joking. You gotta live the experience to gain experience. So after the volunteer options, we start talking about like probably the students part. So I am an IB student, so I did go through the whole IB process. It depends as well, because I know it might vary depending on what region you're from rather be States, England, or it be Canada. So it all varied definitely. I'd say that IB. So I think this is the conflicted part. I find IB very useful. I'd say it's useful not just because of the title, but mainly the experience you get from it. Because I would say that program definitely taught me time management, because I love to do sports. Sports is something I find it releases a lot of serotonin. So I love to. It just creates a lot of happiness for me. So doing sports, whether it be football, basketball, volleyball, karate, whatever it be, I adore it. Because I don't know, I just feel like most of my problems just go away when I play sports. So it's just like, I feel like a sense of relief. You're just playing the sports itself, just having fun. Whether it be a team sport, single sport, I just try and enjoy to play such sports. But because of IB, I learned how to manage my time. So I learned how to manage my time for sleep. Well, sleeping, because I was pretty nocturnal. I still am, but let's say normally it does teach you how to. It teaches you how to have a regular sleep schedule, but it teaches you to have a regular sleep schedule, how to manage your time for sports, activities like going out with your friends, and also to make sure, especially how to study as well. Because I'd say I learned how to like have a timetable, how to make a schedule for myself, so I can have allocated time. So I would put a branch for when I had school. I'd put the columns for when I had classes from this time to this time. I take the time for what time I'd have sports, so I put those spots already, because they're normally set in stone. Especially if I have the schedule for like a season already, I just put those in set in stone in the calendars. And after, I'd say, okay, this is subject gives me the most difficulty. For me, it was English and French, because I didn't like to read that often. So those ones I knew I'd require a bigger time period to like actually read into it, so I could actually properly do it. And after for subjects such as like math or chemistry or bio, I'd still allocate a relatively good time depending on the how lengthy the content was. But again, IB, it was a hefty amount to pay. I'll admit that much. I feel like relatively most people or many people would agree with me. But I would say it is fairly useful because time management is definitely something you will require, not simply for med school. Med school is definitely something I think is just a step up from undergrad, because I believe time management is something you'll need just in life. Just normal, whether you go to college, uni, or no matter where you go, you need time management. Because if you truly want to succeed or truly want to go above and beyond the limits you're setting yourself, you need to be able to manage what time you have or what time you're allocated. Make sure you can reach the highest potential you can and reach the highest goal you want to. That's how I truly believe how it is. And IB. Oh, IB. It definitely brought a lot of tears and happiness to some people. Others more tears, others more happiness. But I truly believe it is very useful. Uh, so I think from the takeaway from this mainly IB column would definitely have to be time management, because that's something that will constantly evolve with you as you go up throughout the year. So from high school to undergrad to med school and to probably even further med school, time management will definitely be one of the biggest things you'll definitely need. Probably do another video on time management later about or study skills later on. But for now, this is just an intro about who I am. As to probably some of you guys who's asking why I have my hoodie on. A man like me don't have a fade, so y'all don't need to see that for the intro video. Once I get a fade, that's taken off, you know? I think our next topic is undergrads. So, as I mentioned before, I attended University of Ottawa, in Ottawa, Canada, for about 1 year. So only a year. I did my first year there. For people who might ask why I did that, is because during my first year, I had realized that it would be more beneficial if I did do if I did do it overseas, because I do save time. But that's not the top of the video. That if you do have questions about why I went from UO to university in England, or even questions about the progress or how I applied here, type them in the comments below, because that's going to probably be another video. It's probably an informative session on it. But for now, we're going to talk about just undergrad itself and how it prepared me for university. So, but also we're going to relate that back to IB, because thanks to time management for IB, I learned how to how to attend all my classes. Well, I didn't have a choice because it was high school, but also how to make sure I am proactive in my studying. So make sure I'm not only writing notes during class, after class, and also before classes. So it's true that for high school, you don't always fully know what's going to happen, or you don't know the full contents of it compared to university. But when you have a general idea, I did do my own kind of research, so I can make sure that I had all the contents necessary. And I would write them first for biology. I found it key to write it by hand, since most of that was mainly memorization, or just mainly if you understand the general components of it, you could always do it by hand. So I did that so I can have the general idea of it, understand of it, and then after I typed it over to like reinforce the message, and if necessary, I just added in a few key details from other sessions I had or any other notes I needed. And when I got to university, those notes that I made in high school came back to be very useful in university. You'd be very shocked how much of my teachers, especially for chemistry, was very useful for chemistry in university. It's true that they were somewhat different, because some teachers, have their own different techniques or whatever. But the general aspects of it, my general notes of it, did come back very useful, because since chemistry, it's not like you can change the law itself, so it would come back very much the same thing. So even some of the techniques that we would use for whether it be for pH or acidic solutions, or even for oxidation or redox reactions, it always come back to the same, because most of it, I think it's more like a general type of equation. So it came back very often and were very useful. But I feel like an undergrad is the first. Then again, I only did 1 year, but I feel like first year and second year, from what I've seen as well, is that you're still in a, I say, in a high school type of phase, where in a sense like you're still learning the key basics of how time management and how to balance studious life and your social life into into a perfect blend. Because first year there was a lot of studying, I'll admit, but it's also since you're also first year university, all away from parents, whatever. So you got party, you have drinking, whatever, adventuring, what. There's a lot of new things that happens. You have to admit there was the. If you're a first year student, you can't tell me you didn't probably party. If you didn't, you're probably lying. If you're not lying, well, damn, you got a lot of self control. But back to the university fact is that first year, second, you're really trying to like first year you're really trying to discover what the university is like. So the first few prep courses, induction courses, that's probably most of the titles for your courses. But then once you're second year, it's more you're more like you're really stepping through the first door into university. So like the first year was like a trial run of you actually preparing for university, and then second year is where you're actually trying to put it into practice, like what it's like to blend both worlds. Like I know for a fact it was a different experience because for me first year I think it's a lot. Not much has changed. I still did a lot of sports. I still did volleyball, basketball, football with a bunch of people. Football, soccer. I don't do football because that shit gonna break me. But so yeah, football, soccer. I did that quite often, and I was still having fun, still having groups. But I think for university is where you also learn to find the kind of people you want to surround yourself with. So like I'm not saying don't have friends or whatever, but I'm saying you need to know, or you need to be able to separate who you want to hang out with and who you want to study with, because sometimes they can't be the same person, but sometimes they could be different people as well. So there's also that I think you have to keep in mind. uh I'd also like to say that I forgot what I was gonna say. Damn, that's I think I remember now. Okay. I picked up a lot of things as well. Like for first year, I made myself more involved in society. So I joined not society, a club, joined HSSA. So the health. Woo, they're gonna kill me for not remembering the name. The Health Science Students Association. They're gonna kill me for forgetting the name. But I did that video. I'm on crap. What am I saying? I was part of that society, sorry, and that's what I did. So basically, I was first year I was VP JVP social, so I'd be helping the VP social of the exec team, so that we'd be planning events, coordinating events to help students be able to interact with each other or get to the information to learn more, or just keen for time to just study. Because I think we did a few sessions where it was close to midterm season, so we had a hot chocolate time where we'd give free hot chocolate, but also permit people to just come in and just study, have a studying room, studying air. So I picked up just being more inclusive in society while having fun as well. And then I'd say another thing I picked up would probably have to be photography, because uh, I found it's pretty fun. I found it pretty calming, because just being in a setting in the air where you take pictures of someone, just help them take a for. I don't really take nature pictures because they don't really. I don't know. They don't really speak to me, in my opinion. But I think taking pictures of people with a different background, proper outfit, proper setting just hits this at like a whole different manner, in my opinion. So I definitely picked that up during first year, because my friends, no, for society, the exec team, I took up a picture so we could take pictures at the event, and after it became a thing where I just started taking pictures of people just for fun. Another thing I picked up was probably shoes. Most people say I have an addiction, but I'm not. I'd say I'm a decent sneakerhead. I bought quite a few shoes first year. I'll admit that. But it's again the fact where you're trying to discover yourself and first year, second, because you're trying to learn how can I do it. Like what's about to come. First year, you're still discovering. Oh, this university does this. My program has that. The university offers this. These people does this. I can study here. That's what I've learned mainly first year. Second year is where I believe is where you put that to practice. You say, okay, this is the trial run from what I learned from first year, and you put that to work. This is where this comes to play. Okay, or we rectify this, that. That's second year, in my opinion. And I believe from third year and fourth year is when, after you've done all after you rectify a few things, after you change a few things, you think you were mistaken, or you think this would be better than the previous option. It's third, fourth year where you put them into play to make sure that you have the grades and the requirements for what you want to do later on, whether it be medicine, whether it be engineering, law, dentistry, drawing, arts, whatever you want. That's why I think it came to play. Third, fourth year is where you put in all the efforts, or fifth year, whatever you need to do to get the grades accumulated. But like this is third, fourth year, fifth year is where you put everything you learn from first, second year to make sure that you can do, or you can attain the highest possible marks, so you can make sure you can go to the postgraduate you would like to go to, or just attend the job you wish to receive and everything. I think there's much else to say about undergrad. Then again, I only did 1 year, so I'm not the best person to talk about it. So yeah, that's undergrad. Okay, now life here in England. So what am I doing here in England? So I'm attending the University of Central Lancashire, or UCLan for short. I'm currently my first year in the MBBS program, short for Bachelor's of Medicine and Surgery. If you have any inquiries about the program, I will try to answer them to my best. Or if you have any questions about how I got here, how I applied here, leave in the comments below. Or I think my socials will be also in the description below. So if you have any questions, you can always DM to me over there, and I'll answer them to the best possible. But we'll just talk about mainly life here. What am I doing here mainly? So obviously I'm here doing my postgraduate, here to receive MBBS degree, so I can later on do residency in another country. For now, it's looking like rather here in England or in Canada. That's the option. But I am here for 5 years. Yes, it's a 5-year program. But so yeah, I'm just mainly treading water here, see what it's like to get first few steps into medicine, see what it's like. I'm still, for now, the goal is radiology, but obviously things can change universally. So I am open to other type of jobs. So it's rather be general practitioner, rather be surgeon, or it can be a biomedical engineer. I'm open to practically almost any field. So, but for now, I'm aiming for radiology. But I am, however, open to other fields. So if they present themselves and I think they're perfect or they're better for me, I'll go for them. But life here, I'd say UConn is very very enjoyable despite the whole COVID situation. I think the university is very accustomed to it. So for life here, I'd say let's start with more of the extracurriculars I do. For football or soccer, I play with a society called NEG. You know, the boys, Northern Galacticos. I joked them out more but like, I don't know how to insert pictures yet and videos. I don't know how to do that yet since I'm still new to the world. But I'll probably leave down their social in the description so you can just check out their Instagram. But yeah, I play for them. I play goalkeeper. Oh, goalkeeper. That's, yeah. But yeah, I play goalkeeper for them. They're a very fun team. I definitely enjoy their vibe despite some of the B teams. So I'd say some of the losses we suffered, but it's definitely a team that I'm slowly growing with. So it's no problem. I play goalkeeper for the A team, and then for the B team, I play right back or center back. It's definitely a team that I enjoy playing with. It's some people are a little, I won't say names. I'll leave that for another video when I talk about the team, or if I do a vlog with the team members, you'll just see who they are and why they're so impactful. To be honest, so I'll leave that there. I'm also part of two sides. So I'm the event coordinator for the AFMS Society, so the Anglo-Franco Medical Students Society. So we're mainly a society that promotes really English and French medicine. So we're here to coordinate for both students. So you could be rather English or French, but we accept both, and we like to try and promote medicine in both languages so that students are aware that even if there's a language barrier, we're here to help if necessary to translate from one part to the other, or you help teach people the different terminologies required in medicine in a different language if necessary. For now, we haven't decided yet how it's going to proceed later on, but for now, it's looking like we have a Kahoot night soon coming up. Ooh, little spoiler. But we're here to promote medicine because we believe that learning more languages can be very useful, especially in the medical field, because it will break down language barriers that you'll have later on. Because I believe speaking two languages is one thing, but also being able to practice or medicine in two languages is even better, or three languages, however languages you know. But learning in a different language can be very useful because you learn how to break the barrier in case of, like, for example, someone says I only speak French, you can say perfect, I speak French as well. But and you being able to like explain to them what's medically wrong or what's the medical recommendation you'd like to present them in a different language or the language they only speak is very beneficial because it shows them that you are someone with those capabilities, and it makes them feel comfortable knowing that, oh, there's someone else that speaks my language, and that also has a comfortable air, so they'll come back to you pretty quickly. My other society I am part of, I am the president for the CBMSA, the Canadian British Medical Students Association. So mainly we're a society that tries to help promote really international studying. So yes, it has the word Canadian in it. That's because the team is was mainly conceived by students who are Canadian. But we are open to anyone who would like to join or simply participate into our events, because our goal is to promote students who like to study abroad, whether it be for residency or whether it just be for med school itself. Because because us being students who can't have to travel across the giant ocean to come study here for medicine, we know what it's like to having to leave family or just go study abroad or apply for different fields to receive the proper recommendations, or even just to pay the enormous amount of money required for med school. We know what it's like, and we're here to also help promote that so that students feel comfortable knowing that there are some people overseas who have made it and who have done it are also here to help or help a hand in hand to students requiring it, to make sure that they can receive or who can attend school just like us. So again, CBMSA is definitely a society that we founded this summer. It is we haven't any events yet, but we are hoping to hopefully have an event with some doctors who have done some residency elsewhere, who having some people who can help explain what it's like to apply abroad and everything. So that is our future goals. We do have a website. I believe I put the website as well in the description. I put the website in the description so you guys can go check out the website. I'll leave also the social medias for the NEG, for AFMS, and CBMSA down in the description as well if you just want to take a peek and look at it. But I'd say UConn is definitely a giving society, definitely a giving university, because despite the COVID situation, they do still give a helping hand to those. For now, I think the most volatile part that, but I don't want to like spoil too much. For the med school program is that it has three branches. The first branch is what we call ISCOM. It mainly comprises of like studies or science parts that relate back to human bodies, so whether it be immunology, anatomy, microbiology, and such. Mainly that just comprises about how we study the human body itself, just the more textbook and hands-on approach. You have another one called EPOM, where it's where we practice mainly the psychological point of views of the world. So whether it be the psychological view about how to approach a patient, or how the society affects psychological view of the doctors, or how we're supposed to practice medicine. So we review all of that to make sure that we're able to view or understand properly the components of the world, and not just see everything just it's how it's supposed to be on textbook. So we review ISCOM is how we view things on textbook, and EPOM is how we view them in a more inclusive manner for the whole society, and not just think that it's just how it's seen in the book, but how other point of views of the patients or even the government affects or changes how we're supposed to act in the manner as a doctor. And the third one is where we have our clinical skills, where we actually put into practice some work. So sometimes earlier in the year September, we did CPR, we did how to talk to patients, how to approach them properly. This week we did injections, how to do intramuscular injections, how to do subcutaneous injections. So this university, I think, is very wonderful, especially because they know COVID regulations are still being applied. We wear masks, we wash everything when we go to meet each other. But despite that, they do know that we do need to practice despite COVID's restrictions. They know we have to practice, but they are aware of the restrictions and how they can pose an effect on us. So what they do is that they do permit us to have time to go visit, the clinic, to have sessions to practice, have time to just interact with the doctors to make sure that we know what was going on. We also have time to also interact with some of the higher years. So some, like for example, this week we had a year 5 student who came in with us to help us practice with the injections. So the university is aware of the situation that's going on with the pandemic, but they also make sure that we also have the resources and the helping hand we need to make sure that we can attain our most potential, and let's also make sure we have a full understanding of what's going on. So that's why I think the university is also very wonderful with. I think that's pretty much it. This video has been very long, hasn't it? I'm very sorry for that. I did not realize it'd be this long. For an intro video, this is very long. So just to end it, if you do have any questions or any video ideas or anything you want me to react to or just make a video of, leave in the comments below or just DM me on Instagram. I'll leave my social medias in the description box. Again, I am new. I don't know how to make my socials appear here or here. I don't know how to do none of that. So for now, just look in the description below. They'll be there, and hopefully we'll be more videos and more subscribers.